just can't stop now. No, trying to find a way out. Ay, feels like they won't let me move, let me breathe, let me leave, just like a maze, like a maze.
Yo, PolyRob, what up?
Yo, what up? What's going on, man? Welcome to the PolyRob podcast. I am your host, the Council PolyRob, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in once again. Valentine's Day is on the way. Valentine's Day is on the way. Some of y'all are listening to this before Valentine's Day. Some of y'all will be listening to it on Valentine's Day. So no matter when you listen to it, Valentine's Day is here. And I'm excited. But I'm excited for a couple of different reasons. We'll get to that. Make sure you subscribe to the PolyRob podcast on all the podcast platforms. We are on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We are on Spreaker Radio. We're on YouTube. We're on TuneIn. We're on SoundCloud. We're on iHeartRadio. And we are on every other podcast platform that you can think of. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave comments. Make sure you keep in tune with the Facebook group, our PolyRob Podcast Facebook group on Facebook. If you're not a member yet, make sure you add yourself as a member. And now I have the official website. It's www.thepolyrobpodcast.com. We now have our own website. I'm saying we because you are part of me and I'm a part of you. And I appreciate y'all always tuning in. We have the website, which you can check out all the episodes on the website. You can also leave me comments. You can contact me for any advice, for anything. You know what I mean? I will have my online courses, the Local Astronauts PolyRob Podcast courses coming soon, really soon. Courses about so many different things. I can't get into it now, but just be on the lookout. Make sure you check the website frequently. And then also, when y'all get a chance, donate. Everything that we do is self-financed, and we would just love your donations. We appreciate that. Just make sure you donate via PayPal on thepolyrobpodcast.com. And just, keep in tune, man. I'm going to keep these episodes going for y'all. It's for my creatives out there. You know what I mean? Also, big shout out to Dish Nation. If anybody that follows my Instagram, Yo PolyRob, what up? Or follows the Local Astronauts Instagram, at Local Astronauts. Dish Nation, on the station and on their YouTube platform, they're doing this new content piece called Head Crack. Shout out my boy Head Crack from Dish Nation from the Morning Hustle. They do this thing called Head Crack's Object of My Rhymes. And it's pretty much a freestyle segment where they give him different things to rhyme over. You know what I'm saying? And they pick one of the Freestyle Gods beat instrumental from my Freestyle Gods beat tape. That's on iTunes, Spotify, and all music platforms. They picked the beat from there, and Head Crack got off. He got off. Actually, he was blindfolded. And they was giving him random, objects in his hand, and he was just rhyming and doing his thing. That was crazy. Make sure you go check that out on YouTube. Just type in Dish Nation Head Crack or Dish Nation Object of My Rhymes, and you'll see it. And we got a lot more coming. So shout out to Dish Nation. I appreciate y'all. Also, Valentine's Day is here. Love is in the air. And for those out there who are still kind of on the fence of whether they should celebrate Valentine's Day or not, of course, we understand the cliche lines. Yeah, celebrate Valentine's Day every day. Or I don't celebrate Valentine's Day because I don't have no Valentine. Like, scratch all that shit. Scratch all that. Let me give you some ways you should celebrate Valentine's Day. So, for those who are in a relationship, of course, do your due diligence. Make sure you celebrate Valentine's Day with the one that you care about, the one that you love, or the one that you think you might end up loving. That's okay too. That's okay too. You don't necessarily have to, quote unquote, be in love with that person per se. This is just my opinion. This is how I feel. You don't have to actually be in love with that person per se. Let's, it might be a new relationship. Y'all might be into each other for about a month or two. You don't know, but still celebrate and show that person what they're getting into. Show them through Valentine's Day and of course through other days. Show them what they're getting into. So do that for that reason if you're in a relationship. If you're not in a relationship, still celebrate love for the best ability of what you think love is. Watch some of your favorite love movies. Read some of your favorite love stories. Cook something you love. Do something that you love to do. You know what I mean? Valentine's Day doesn't have to be about the actual person that you love. It could actually be something, a thing or idea or something that you love. If you love going to the gym, go to the gym on Valentine's Day. And then treat yourself. If you love eating, treat yourself to the best meal. You know what I mean? Like, go in. You know what I mean? If you're not in a relationship. And if you're a friend that has another friend that's in a relationship, get into a conversation with them and ask them about how do they make things work. Or ask them, how do they meet up if you don't know already. You know what I mean? Like, I just want everybody on Valentine's Day to be into something that revolves around love. And that's what I think Valentine's Day really is. It's to be involved or around some type of love. Even if you're around your friends that you love, you're around your family that you love. I've grown to take a new take on Valentine's Day. It's just, being around something, someone, or somehow being around some part of love. That's what Valentine's Day in my brain and should be. So I just want to give y'all a couple of those tips, and a couple of ways that you can celebrate Valentine's Day, man. Please enjoy it. And just, indulge in it the best way possible. I just got over like a small, about to be cold. So excuse me if I sniffle or do anything like that. But for the most part, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So before we get into the topic of today, I do want to talk about this conversation that I had with a couple of my colleagues. First off, my last episode that I did was, Is She Investing? And I was talking about, just women being with, guys that are artists and kind of, figuring out what part of the relationship are they investing in. So apparently that was a great episode because I got so many phone calls about that last episode from different women, different men, and we just had long conversations about, how we should approach that situation. I gave my opinion. They gave their ideas and opinions on it as well. And I also posted something in my Facebook group that kind of just generated comments just from that episode alone. So I appreciate that. I've also had a privilege of talking to one of my colleagues, and, they're married. And, I was just talking to them about, how do they stay in it? How do they stay in it? And one of them is an actual creative. They're a musician. And they were just telling me certain things that they did to kind of stay in the fire and to keep themselves together. So it kind of inspired this actual episode and this topic for this episode. Because, me being a creative, me being in the relationships at the same time of being in my career, there's this one thing that always is in my brain that I try to think about, and I'm like, why is it that the concept of love and then the concept of you loving your music, why can't that coexist? And I'm not saying it doesn't coexist. I'm saying for a lot of cases in a lot of people's lives, it doesn't. It doesn't seem to coexist. Like there's always a argument or debate or a disagreement about where does music sit in your life as your life's going with whatever mate that you're with. Like, what part does music play in the progression and the future of your life with your mate? So I thought about that for a second. And I wanted to sit, back and just think for a minute and like, you know what, let me talk about this on the show, because I know a lot of people think about that. A lot of people think about that. Whether it's one creative per relationship or it's creatives on both sides of the relationship. I feel like we definitely need to talk about, is it love and music, or is it love versus music? You know what I mean? And let's just get into that, because it is Valentine's Day. So I want to talk about, the title of this episode is Love versus Music. You know what I mean? First things first, in my opinion, I feel like music is an existence. It's not just an idea. It's not just a thing. I feel like music is an existence. It's something that I feel like, of course, it's not a living being. It's not a living existence, but it has elements, a part of it that is a give and take thing. It's a give and take. It's as much energy as you put into it, as much energy as you get out of it. It also has elements of being able to be loving, compassionate. It can change the idea of your emotions and where you feel like you want to go. I feel like music is an existence. It's an existence. That's why sometimes when people get into these conversations about why are you in tune with music more than you in tune with me, or why are you paying more attention to music than you're paying attention to me? You know what I mean? I feel like music is an existence. That's why some people, pit music against a relationship, because it actually has these elements and these forms of the same thing of what a living being would have, although it's not a living being, but it is an energy and an existence that we identify with as if we identify with a human being, if you get what I mean. So by me thinking, about music as a true existence, I always think about how I operate doing music. How do I live with it? How do I live without it? If I even can live without it. And how do I move and shape and do certain things in light of, And I've been in a couple of relationships during the course of me being in music. And I've been in relationships without music, where me not being indulged in music at that point. And one thing that I figured out, that most people call a problem, is I would find myself switching my dedication for certain things. Like, I'm dedicated, let's say when I was in the relationship, when I'm actually in a relationship and I'm doing music, I would be dedicated to music so much that it would actually upset my mate. Let me say it again. I would be dedicated to music so much that I would actually upset the one that I was with. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. And although you can say the same thing sometimes with work, you can say the same thing with sports, you can say the same thing with other careers. But in my experience, I feel like when it's music, people take that extra precaution or that extra, or it's whatever the emotion is, I feel like it's extra because it's music. I feel like it's extra. If they mad that you into your music, I feel like they extra mad because it is music. Because it's something that can give to you just as much as a human can. And I really believe that. Music can give to you just as much as a human can. It can give you a loving factor. It can give you a passionate factor. It can enrage you to do something crazy. It could also calm you down in the best way. It could do so many different elements that a human can as well. So I see why. I see why your mate will be upset. I see why. But my question is, if music has some of the same elements that a human can endure, why can't we coexist? Why can't the love of your mate and the love of your music coexist? Let's talk about that for a minute. Why not? The elements of why you do music comes from you being able to express yourself, you being able to say what you feel and get out what you feel through the beat, through the lyrics, through the expression, can get out what you feel. Equivalent to somebody who is right next to you that understands who you are and lets you be you in front of them. Lets you get out your anger, lets you cry in front of them, lets you speak your mind. Same elements. But the problem comes in is when there's certain people that you deal with or certain people in your relationship that don't want nothing else to do the same thing that they do. They don't want another person or another entity or another existence consoling you. They don't want another existence pushing you to do great. I don't know. Sometimes it happens. They don't want another existence being the reason why you calm yourself down or think logically or whatever. That's why there's those battles all the time. Where you been? Oh, I was at the studio. We at the studio. Why you not here with me? I'm just trying to knock out some records and do whatever. And they try to irrationalize or try to come up with something that makes people feel like music is overtaking the concept of why the relationship should exist. Sometimes the person you're in a relationship with, they feel like you use music to either get through certain situations that they feel like y'all should get through as a couple. And I'm not gonna lie, that's true sometimes. That's true sometimes. Sometimes I don't want to talk to nobody. Sometimes I don't want to talk to nobody. Not even the one that I'm with. I don't even want to talk to her right now. You know what I want to do? I want to play that song that resonates how I feel. That's what I want to do. I want to play the record that makes me either understand how I feel or I just want to be in that feeling. Like, for instance, somebody pisses you off, that's your friend. Gets you mad, y'all get into an argument, y'all pissed off, whatever. Now, you can talk to your mate about it and come to some type of realization, or they're just the ear, whatever the case may be. Or you can play that one record that says idols become rivals, or, niggas did me wrong, or even friends will turn on you. And sometimes you would get the same effect or the same realization or the same type of help, mental help, spiritual help, whatever. You get the same type of help from the song that you would get from the person listening to you and talking to you. We get the same effect sometimes. If you're, when people pass away, you can talk about it with your mate and you can let them console you and let them cry on their shoulder and do all of that. Or you can listen to "It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday." You can do that. And no matter where you go, it'll get you in that same pocket of understanding what's going on, going through the hardships, letting out your feelings, and then being able to move on. The effect can be the same. So the question is always, why can't I do both? Why can't I do both? And right now I'm talking about the concept of listening to music. I haven't even talked about the concept of someone actually making a record, because that's where it really is what I'm getting to. When you're creative and you're an artist and you're making records, the same way you can explain and talk to your mate and cry or do whatever with your mate about somebody passing is the same way you can write a song about it and get all of those same emotions. Pick the right beat to go along with that, or have the producer make a beat to go along with that emotion. You can do the same thing and get the same effect. So why can't they coexist? Why can't the relationship as it is and the music and your career as an artist as it is, why can't they coexist? Why not? I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, for me, when I'm not in a relationship, music does a hell of a lot for me. It does a hell of a lot. I would like for somebody to fill that void. I would like that. But in the meantime, music does a lot of that for me. That's what, having playlists is for. Me writing a specific song about how I feel. Me making a beat. Production is a major key in getting out a lot of my emotions. You can actually hear it in my production. You can hear the emotion in my production, where I'm at musically, where I'm at emotional wise. Like, you can hear that in the music that I create. But at the same time, I would love to have a companion that I can just release with. And that's what it's really about. It's about being able to release. It's about being able to release who you are and how you feel to the world and to whomever. That's the one element that sometimes a mate that's not a creative don't realize, is that All we want to do is connect with the world. All we want to do is connect with you. We want to connect. We want to connect. And sometimes we want to connect without any resistance. We want to connect without no resistance. Just want to connect. Music helps us do that. I would love for my mate to help me do that for the most part, but I'm speaking in some situations, it doesn't happen that way because there's always some type of resistance. Sometimes you just want to get things out. Creating music helps us do that. It's about being able to connect. Because once we identify with something, we're able to move on once we identify with it. And I feel like in a lot of relationships, when we identify the root of the problem or we identify what's really going on here, I feel like people in relationships take that for granted. And then they turn that into, well, whose fault is it? Whose fault? Who needs to fix it? And all of that type of stuff. Who's winning? Who's losing? It's all of that stuff that goes on. But what needs to happen is you need to come to terms with being able to connect and move on for the best part of your relationship. Connect and identify with what's going on in this situation, whether it's about y'all or whether it's about something else. And then be able to move on and fix whatever it is you need to fix and get to the next level. How about sharing a connection with music together? You know how crazy that is that you would have somebody, you're creative, and then you have somebody that don't even share music with you. That's whack. Y'all don't share a musical connection. I'm not saying for them to be fully invested in everything you do in your career. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is, y'all should have some type of musical connection. That's the greatest part about songs and beats and albums and stuff like that. This is a profession that everybody can enjoy, even if you're not in the profession. It's not like sports where you have to be in the sports in order to indulge in love and love everything about sports or love everything about your mate loving sports. It's not like that. It's not like acting. It's not like modeling. It's not like none of that. You would have to actually have some type of love for that in order to indulge in whatever your mate is doing on behalf of that. This is music. Everybody on this earth loves music. You don't even have to love the music that your mate loves, but you guys can still share a connection of music together. Let me explain. Sharing a connection means being able to give and take from each other. I may give my girlfriend a playlist of shit that I be on. She'll give me a playlist of shit that she be on. I'm listening to her playlist. I'm listening to songs that she put together, and I say, oh, this record, oh yeah, that's my baby. That's her. That's the type of shit that's her style. She listening to my records and be like, okay, I remember he said he lived in New York. Yeah, so these are these records that he used to listen to when he was little. Sharing a connection. When y'all in the car rolling or doing anything or cooking or cleaning or working out, being able to share the connection of what we listening to, what we on. And then if the mate is an artist or a producer or whatever, even if she don't like the beats, she can give her input or he can give his input as to what they would want to see from the song. Because they're a fan of music, so they can give you some type of insight. It ain't got to be professional insight. Sometimes the best insight is from people who don't know nothing you've done. Or they're not indulged in a lot that you do. So they can get something, you can get something from them, and they can get something from it as well by listening to something that they don't normally listen to. Sharing a connection with music together. I don't feel like these relationships where you have creatives a part of it, these should not be difficult relationships. It's my opinion. I don't feel like it should be difficult. There should be a way for y'all to coexist. I used to love having conversations of coming home late from the studio and talking about my studio day. People, don't be afraid to talk about those studio days, because it's not what you think it is. A lot of y'all be thinking it's bunch of bitches in the studio, it's drugs, alcohol everywhere, motherfuckers fucking in the back, niggas shooting dice. That's what every person who's not in music be thinking when a rapper or a singer or something says, I'm in the studio. That's what a lot of y'all be thinking. Why? Because that's what was happening during the Death Row days? No. And then the funny thing about it is, once your mate comes to a studio session, they be like, oh, this is what it's really like. This is what it's really like. And I'm not saying all studio sessions is all like great, good, calm studio sessions. Of course, they got some bullshit going on. But you will know it. You will know it just by how your mate acts, even if you decide to date somebody like that. That's up to you. That's completely up to you. I applaud artists that are in relationships that still do this music shit and are in good relationships, good marriages, good relationships of many years. I applaud that, because we need more of that. Let's just be honest. We need more of that creative relationship shit. We need more of that. And some people may disagree with me, but we need more creative to creative relationships too. We need more of that as well. We don't need to have the imbalance of somebody's a creative or artist and somebody else is not. Like, no, we need more of those. We need more of the rapper, singer, model rapper, PR producer. We need more of that. Why not? Because I definitely want to build a legacy of creatives in my family, and not saying I'm shooting for it, but I would love to have another creative as a mate, and move forward for the best reasons. We are supposed to understand what's going on here. We should be able to work out. We need to understand what's really going on. We can do that. We can work that out. We can work that out. Even if there's one creative per relationship, you can work that out. You can figure out how to maneuver through that whole situation. Let's talk about it. Let's get things out in the open. And you don't have to be interested in exactly what he does, but be interested in the process. Be interested in her process of how she's moving along in her career. Help that. Don't take away from it. Don't be her argument. Be her help. Don't be his frustration. Be his calm. You know what I'm saying? Because as a creative, truth be told, that's all we want. All we want is the space and the good energy to do what the fuck we do. That's all we want. Is the good space and good energy to be the best creator we can be. It ain't about no money. It ain't about no success. It ain't about people being on you. It ain't about none of that. It's about us just giving us our time and good spirit to just do our thing. I don't want to battle with my mate as to whether the relationship is over the music or the music over the relationship. I don't want to do that. I want us to be one in itself, and that can happen. No matter how much people think it can't happen, I believe that can happen. To be one with what you love and who you love. It is a beautiful thing to be one with what you love and who you love. It should be love and music, not love versus music. They shouldn't have to battle. The love of your relationship and the love of your music should not have to battle. They're fucking cousins. They're cousins. They're cousins, and they come from the same element to exist, to do the exact thing that they're on this earth to do. Exist in greatness for the relationship and the music. We can do that, y'all. We can do that. And I don't, y'all call it celebrity relationships or whatever y'all want to call it, but I love the Cardis and what's his name, Quavo or whatever. I love all that. I love that. I love the Jay-Z and Beyonces. These are people who figured out how to love the person in their relationship and love what they do and share a connection together. I love that. I love the Will Smiths and the Jadas. You know what I'm saying? I love that. And we need more of that, because no matter what profession you in, there's going to become a time where things get difficult. And the love of that person and the love of what you love doing, the profession that you're in, is going to help each other. When it gets really rough, it's going to help each other. When your relationship gets rough, music can help that. It can help you learn how to express what you feel. Not saying make a song about your girl because she finna leave you all the time. But I'm saying that, you can use music to help you come to terms with yourself and come to terms with the situation at hand. Same thing with the relationship. The relationship, if you have a good relationship, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have some great musical experiences. You're going to have great musical experiences if you have a good relationship. If you got somebody that's cheering you the fuck on, you finna do something great. Straight up. If he or she is cheering you on while you trying to do some dope music, you finna come up with something so cold. It's finna take care of you and your mate and your community and your family for the rest of their lives. That's why we need better creative relationships. We need better. Because we just need better music in general. We need more positive music. We just need dope music in general. Last thing before I go. I always got this idea in my head that for me, in order to achieve ultimate success, God wants me to have a companion with me. I really believe that. In order to achieve ultimate success. Like I'm don't get me wrong, I'm gonna have a lot of great success. But I feel like God is telling me in order for me to reach my ultimate level of success is when I share that with the person that I love. I believe he's telling me that. And I'm listening. And, it may be somebody that walks through the fire with me, or it may be somebody that sees me at the end of the fire. But either way, I'm ready for that challenge. Because even for me, I feel like, for me, there's no success without giving a speech of who's been there with you during. You know what I mean? If you understand what I mean. For me, there's no success without talking about the people and those who've helped me through the hard times. That's my idea of what success is being able to tell the story of how this whole thing came about. It's not even the money. I just want to tell the story about how it all came about. I'm going to get the money for sure. I'm going to get all the accolades and everything. But my true and living success, my human success of me as a human being on this earth, take away all the materialistics, is me being able to tell the story of what I love to do and who I did it for. And everything working out as a result of that. I think one day that's gonna be my Valentine's gift. It's not gonna be no socks, it's not gonna be no wallets, it's not gonna be an iPhone. It's gonna be me being able to express the happiness that I have for being with the one that I love and having the thing that I love. You know what I'm saying? Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you for listening to my podcast. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you got questions or comments or whatever. I'm going to be posting some stuff in my Facebook group, PolyRob Podcast Facebook group. Make sure you go follow that on Facebook. And, go to the website, thepolyrobpodcast.com. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you donate. And, I want y'all to have a great, great Valentine's Day. I want y'all to enjoy, and I want y'all to understand that love and music can and will coexist in your life, in our lives, and it's going to be some beautiful shit. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for listening. Make sure y'all subscribe to the PolyRob Podcast on all digital podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Radio, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, YouTube, SoundCloud, and all the other podcast platforms. You know what I'm saying? I am out. I am going to enjoy my Valentine's Day my way. For everybody that wants to know, no, I do not have a Valentine this year, but that is okay because I am going to spread love the Brooklyn way. Peace.